So Callan has his flower. We're going to do our flower dissection. And as you can see, before we did the dissection, we colored our flower picture, and it's not perfect. Everything's not labeled because it doesn't need to be. He is 5, and so what we're going to focus on, we have 4 parts that we are working on his age group as far as learning. And Callan, do you remember what we called this part right here?
Stem.
Alright, so we know the stem of the flower, so we're going to label that. And then what's this part right here?
Flower petal.
Flower petal, great. And then we had 2 other parts. What's this long part right here that has the long one right here?
The boy.
It's the female part, right? Because the female part is where the seeds form here at the bottom. And then which parts have the pollen?
The girl.
Sweetie, the pollen is the male parts. We had this right last time. We don't have it right this time. That's okay, right? Because we just keep on practicing. I mean, that's part of it. And so the pollen parts are the... Absolutely. So go ahead and try to take apart the flower pieces on one side of it. So yeah, pull off all the petals.
No, but I have the scissors to help.
I don't know. They were just there right here. Pull off the petals first. Can we pull the petals off, or do you just really want to cut them? You can cut them off if you want. Can you show me where the stem is? Let's label the parts on the flower. That's right, there's the stem. And then which parts are the petals? That's right, those big parts right there. Sometimes, if your kids are a little bit older, they're probably going to be labeling sepals and petals. And so with the sepals, they're typically green. It's basically the part that encases the flower before it blooms. So it's the bud. It's the outside part of the bud. And then when they peel off, typically, like I said, they're green, but not always. Many times, those sepals will actually turn into the same color as the flower. So sometimes they're kind of a little bit hard to distinguish. And right now, my son is taking off the petals. If you want it to be pretty, take off the petals on one side. That way you can have the petals in the background, like this photo, right? And then you have the female and the male parts that you're going to be looking at. But, you know, doesn't need to be pretty, right? So, the main part, I think, is letting them do it and letting them explore. And it's not going to be perfect. That's all right. All right, so let's think about this. We talked about the male parts having the pollen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the female part is where the eggs are, and that's where the seeds are made. So
I'm gonna go to that part.
Okay, how about, usually the male parts are pretty easy to find. Can you show me where the pollen is on that flower? Right, can I see real quick? Can I hold it? Yes, you see all those parts that have kind of, so we're looking at a rose. This is actually a knockout rose from our garden. It's considered a rose variety that requires a lot less water, so it's good for desert areas. And so do you see the parts that are brown on the inside with yellow on the outside?
Yeah.
Those are all the male parts. And do we remember what those are called? Those are called the stamen. And then now we're looking for the female part, which is called the pistil. So yeah, keep cutting in there and see if you can find it.
The seed.